61 through 70 started with Cam Akers, and then Miles Sanders here. Got back-to-back running backs, followed by Darren Waller, a new home with the Giants. Isaiah Pacheco, a pretty popular sleeper this year. And then Chris Godwin, Tyler Lockett, Brandon Ayuk, 3 wide receivers in a row, followed by Kyle Pitts, Dallas Goedert, and number 70, a surging Trevor Lawrence.
I mean, I think this is. I love this I love this list. I love kind of this section of the draft. I'd be good with a lot of these people. I think Ayuk has a big year. I think Goddard has a really big year. Trevor Lawrence was on my short list for ride or die. Darren Waller, I think, is going to have a monster year with the Giants. But I want to talk a little bit here about Cam Akers because I think he's a really fascinating guy. Last year, Rams 29th in both running back carries and targets last season. The offensive line was awful. First 12 weeks of the season, Cam Akers averaged 3.9 fantasy points per game, right? Under 10 touches a game, right? And there were all these weird things like, we're going to trade him, we're going to release him, like he's in the doghouse. And then, weeks 13 on, he was the 6th best running back in fantasy. I'm sorry, he was the 5th best running back in fantasy. 5th best running back. Averaged over 100 yards from scrimmage. He averaged over 19 touches a game, 100 total yards in each of his final 4 games, 11% target share of that stretch. The Rams still don't have really anyone. There's no one in that backfield that scares you to take touches away from Cam Akers. So the question is sort of which Cam Akers are you getting and where he's going in drafts. I don't mind taking the flyer on volume and saying, hey, there's a chance that like they do have Stafford back, they do have Cooper Kupp back. Like they're gonna need to generate offense somehow, and so McVay has, over the time that he's been in LA, more often than not, picked one running back and sort of gone with that. There have been a couple times where it's been a little committee-ish, but, I'm not really scared about Kyron Williams or anything like that taking touches away. So, volume is king for running backs. Give me some Cam Akers here at 61.
Yeah, I don't mind it for where he's going outside the top 60. At the same time, like this Rams team is such a mess. The second best player on their defense, they just signed like 2 days ago, John Johnson. He's clearly the second best player on their defense. He just got signed. The team is a complete. It feels like they're going to get like relegated and be playing in the CFL next year. There's just nothing on this team outside of Kupp, Donald, Stafford. I'm just
Higbee.
Yeah,
I kind of like Higbee.
Is Higbee like the 5th best player on the team?
He might be. Yeah. But my point is right that like I'm with you. I don't know how many scoring opportunities the Rams are going to have. And I don't. It's not a good offensive line. It's a bad offense. But again, if you do 0 RB or you're just looking in this mid round, like it's hard to find a running back in this range that has a potential for 20 touches a game. And Cam Akers legitimately has that potential.
Yep, and he was great towards the end of last season. Genuinely excellent.
Moving over to 71 through 80, this one starts with David Montgomery, now with the Detroit Lions, James Cook, Rashad White, J.K. Dobbins, a stack of running backs, followed by a stack of wide receivers, and Mike Evans, Michael Pittman Jr., Jordan Addison, the rookie, coming in at 77, Jackson Smith and Jigba at 78, Javonte Williams, the hopeful return of Javonte Williams at 79, and then maybe the most complex quarterback to figure out in fantasy this year, Barry, with Deshaun Watson at 80, now officially done with suspension. He came back last year, a lot of rust in his game, but in a Browns offense that maybe can be potent through the air.
Right. I mean, Watson's a fascinating player, right? Because he looked so bad last year, but there was so much, a lot of things going on there, certainly rusty, a lot of controversy about his return. But now, full season, full off season, he is the guy. He's gotten into Stefanski's system, and unlike all those Houston years where they were a bad team and it was somewhat junk inflated, the fact of the matter is that the Browns are going to be good this year. Browns have a good defense. They have legit weapons on offense. Very good offensive line. They have the best running back in football in Nick Chubb. Amari Cooper is a legit wide receiver 1 for an NFL franchise. You and I both like Cedric Tillman as a piece there.
Elijah Moore's there.
Elijah Moore is there. Maybe the resurgence of Elijah Moore. Top 5 fantasy quarterback in his 3 full career seasons. All 6 games he played last year, he had 20 or more rushing yards. So, that's still a part of his game. And, he's my quarterback 9. He's my quarterback 9. He's not someone that I feel super comfortable going into a season with as my only quarterback, but I don't mind if you wait on quarterback. I don't mind you winding up with him and then like a mid-tier QB2. Like Watson. Like if I was in a one quarterback league, coming out of the draft with like Watson and then like Anthony Richardson's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah.
Like not like 9 and 12 is I think where I have them in my ranks.
Do you think there's a bit of an inconsistency that Watson is being considered in one way that is completely different to the way that Michael Thomas is being considered, in that the last time Watson was good was 2020. The last time Michael Thomas was good was 2019 when he was the best wide receiver in all of football. I get it, it's different. Thomas has had injuries, Watson hasn't, and has been out for other reasons, but I can't get over how bad he looked at the end of last season.
Yeah,
and I get the context, but he looked horrific in a way that was really unusual, where certainly the betting market kept on expecting that he was just going to bounce back and be better, and he just never was. He was just about the worst quarterback in football.
Hey, it's Matthew Berry from NBC Sports and RotoWorld.com. Just want to thank you so much for watching what you just watched, or at least being too lazy to click out of it after the autoplay just kept it going. So either way, thank you so much for just letting it scroll by your screen. And now I'd like to ask you respectfully, okay? Respectfully, please subscribe to the NFL on NBC YouTube channel for the latest NFL news, fantasy headlines from RotoWorld, and betting analysis from NBC Sports Edge.